Have you ever gotten exactly what you wanted and it still didn't feel like enough? This is the suffering that's behind the sin of greed. In this series, we're talking about the seven deadly sins because it's such a sexy package. And we're talking about what psychologically they mean, which is what are they going for? Because from a psychological sense, they're all going for something constructive if we can see what it is. So if you've gotten something that you wanted and it wasn't enough, or if there's a feeling of there not being enough in general, or you're mad at someone else that's greedy, all of those things, it means something in your own psyche is not enough. Now, the next stage is to think, what was it that you wanted? For me, it's sometimes like the perfect backpack. So that's what Jungians call a symbol. The symbol stands for the thing you really want in some way. The in some way is the key thing. That's where we get into poetry, into symbolism, into metaphor. So for me, I've always wanted the perfect backpack. Why? After a lot of reflection, or it might not take you very long, a backpack helps me take my things from one situation to another. It allows me to be perfectly organized and also always ready. So I could look into whether I was organized or ready or what I need to take from place to place. And the more I did that, the less I needed the perfect backpack. That's an example of how the actual thing that you want that's not enough is still an important symbol. So the point is not to throw it away. The point is to say, I don't need to be greedy anymore. The point is, what is this calling for from the center of your own psyche? So greed is one of the seven deadly sins because theologically speaking, in the ancient days, it was the thing that took us away from God because God is interested in a relationship with what's bigger than us, not with amassing a pile of things. So Jung said, well, wait a minute, how does this take us away from who we are? And the point is actually not to get rid of the greed, but to look at it symbolically. For Jung, everything changes when we look at it symbolically. First of all, it makes us more patient with ourselves and with others. And secondly, maybe more importantly, it leads to an actual solution. Imelda Marcos, for instance, has this huge collection of shoes. Why does she need so many shoes? Clearly, it was either an idea about how she looked, because shoes are very important for how you look, or it had to do with her standpoint, and she couldn't figure out her standpoint in the world. Now, my fantasy is if she'd been able to go into analysis and reflect on those things, she wouldn't have needed all those shoes. So those are two examples, but what about you? What do you feel like is not quite enough? It's a thing that's on your mind. And either you get it and it's not quite enough, or you want it because things feel like it's not quite enough. What do we do with that? What we do is we treat it like a piece of poetry or like a piece of art. We wonder what it means metaphorically. What does it mean as an experience? What would it be like to have that? Would it complete us or would it be exciting? Those are the things we're going for, not the item itself. And that's how we do what Jungians call symbolic translation. How do we take this thing, which obviously, if I had 1,000 backpacks, I wouldn't be happy. How do we make that into something experientially important to you every day? That's our goal. This is Hardcore Jung. I'm Morgan Stebbins, your Jungian analyst, looking at common things that afflict us and what the Jungian solution is. For more information, sign up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.